All right, welcome. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. Happy Wednesday, everybody. We are officially in the new league year for the NFL. It is free agency time, guys. We have a lot to get into. Just more notably, most recently, a guy that we were kind of all looking at, Hassan Reddick. He just recently signed with the Carolina Panthers for very cheap, apparently. And another thing I want to talk about, obviously, Patrick, Jay, and I are going to be live together today. We're going to do a deep dive into the NFC West. We're going to talk very much in depth about free agency, and we're going to talk about Deshaun Watson, guys, because there is quite a bit of news regarding the Eagles and Deshaun Watson. And as you guys can tell, I have my mic back. And I feel really, really good about it. So I want to start off with this. I remember as a kid, it used to be really exciting to go in to Best Buy and buy electronics. And I gotta be honest with you, I just had the most anxiety ridden, panic riddled experience at Best Buy that I possibly could ever have. Probably the worst experience I've ever had buying electronics. I gotta be honest with you, and it wasn't anything that the people at Best Buy did, even though I was waiting for somebody for like 45 minutes, just because they were busy helping people, but I could not make up my mind on what I wanted to do. It was like, did I want to buy the Shibbity Booba or the didgeridoo over there, or what did I want to get? I could not decide. So I ended up walking home finally with a new laptop, and I feel really good about it. Obviously, as some of you know, like, I've been without my laptop for the last week, and now I finally got upgraded. So I feel really, really good about it. But let's go ahead and talk about this. So some other guys that the Eagles were also interested in already signed. Jacoby Brissette, quarterback Jacoby Brissette, obviously has ties to Nick Sirianni due to his year with Frank Reich and Nick Sirianni in Indianapolis. That same season that Andrew Luck retired, did a decent job running that Indianapolis Colts offense. He went ahead and signed with the Miami Dolphins. So just to correct the mistake that I made, I think I said in my check-in video last night with you guys that he signed with the Titans. I do apologize about that. That is my fault. But now that I got that corrected, we can go ahead and move on from there. Emmanuel Sanders went ahead and signed with the Bills. And here we go live with Patrick J. Patrick, welcome to the stream, my man.
Good morning. Good afternoon, I guess.
Good morning. The hell is wrong with you, buddy?
Man, working all day in a dark room, dude. So don't even know what time it is.
Yeah, are you orchestrating? Are you orchestrating assassinations or something?
Dude, it sure looks like it.
Hey, can you tell I got my mic back, buddy?
Hey, you sound a lot better.
I don't know how I sound because I can't hear myself, but I gotta tell you, I want to start this stream off with this, and I kind of just touched on this, but dude, I don't know if you remember, or you probably do, but like us is like, it used to be so enjoyable walking into Best Buy and buying electronics. And I gotta be honest with you, bro. Like, I just had the most like panic riddled, like anxiety riddled experience I've ever had buying electronics in my entire life. I don't know if it has to do with age or what, but like I was like, there's the shindig over there, and there's this guy over here, and there's the didgeridoo over there, and I'm like, what the fuck do I got? What do I walk home with? Like there was like, I don't know. I finally, like, I felt like I was there for like 3 hours. I know it wasn't 3 hours, but like if I had bird's eye view, dude, like I'm sure I looked like a crazy person, like walking around.
Well, at the end of the day, I mean, did you walk out with a laptop or?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, heck yeah, dude.
Of course I did, bro. I don't know if I walked out with the right laptop, but I walked out with a laptop. Yes.
Hey man, that's a start. That's a start.
Right. I'm hoping I can make a decision within this 14-day period though. But so far so good. I like it so far. Cortana greeted me very nicely. So that's good, right? It's a 2-in-1 touch screen. I like it. It's
You
not
know me,
bad.
man. I'm a Siri guy here myself, so I don't do Cortana, but I heard she's nice.
Yeah, no, I hear that they're all secretly sisters.
Oh, okay, sounds
Yeah,
good, man.
like the witches of Crookback Bog. There's a little Witcher reference for you. Let's jump into this, bro. Okay, so Hassan Reddick just signed with the Carolina Panthers. I don't know the details on the thing because I have it on the contract. I haven't had time to. I literally just got back from.
No, let's do this. I mean, like I'll kind of just start off with. There's a lot to unpack. I mean, like just going down. I mean, I heard you kind of touch on the Patriots a little bit. Patriots alone will take like 30 minutes to go over. So,
oh my god,
you know, we'll kind of touch on that later. But yeah, Hassan Reddick just went to the Carolina Panthers. That's the latest news that came down. A bargain, man. After a season that he's had, he's unfortunately had to land another. It looks like a prove it deal. 1 year at $6 million. That's it. So for a pass rusher of his caliber, still a young guy, you know what I mean? Like, so he gets to go there and then reunite with Matt Rule. Standout's he's going to be a really, really good option over there. Let's see. Go ahead.
That's crazy. Hold on. Josh, bye. Welcome to the stream, my man. I don't think I've seen you in here before. Welcome to the channel, my man. Please like and subscribe. Wow, Stephon Gilmore traded to the Washington football team. Rivera is loading the fuck up. Did you hear about that, Patty?
I did not. I will fact check right now. But, I mean, they did just get William Jackson to that deal. So, I mean, you and I were kind of talking about that already. Like, he was a top corner available, so already adding him to that stud defense was already going to be like a big step for them. So I mean, if they are indeed adding Stephon Gilmore, that's something else, my dude.
That's insane. No, yeah, that scares me a little bit. I mean, on top of that, we touched on this a little bit. That defense, bro.
Yeah, I am reading. I'm online. Looking at all the reputable sources like Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter. Nothing up here yet. Nothing on the Patriots end or anything. So I mean, maybe.
Yeah, Josh, where did you hear that? Let me know. Let us know in the live chat.
I don't see it quite yet. It doesn't mean it's not happening because there were talks that Stephon Gilmore was. Exactly. So we'll put that on the hold for now. But I mean, kind of like what we touched on, William Jackson going to Washington football team. I mean, he was that lone bright spot in the Bengals defense, and he's only 28 going into prime, 3 years and $42 million. That's a great deal for that defense too. Gilmore or not, he goes in there, shore up there, already impressive secondary. So that's a huge move for them. Things that we expected. Kind of coming down. Trent Williams going back to 49ers with a huge deal.
5 years, 133, right? 133
6 years and 138. Yeah, for a 32-year-old gentleman, that's a huge payday. Risky, but a good deal. Shaquille Barrett going back to the Buccaneers for 4 years and $72 million. So he did get a lot there too. Leonard Williams going back with the Giants at 3 years and 63. Some players that are changing teams. I know we kind of touched on it. Joe Thuney's going to Kansas City Chiefs to help out their O-line. Hunter Henry joining Jonnu Smith, of course, at the Patriots, having the two top tight ends.
Big play, Slay. Welcome, my man.
Yeah, welcome in. Well,
happy Wednesday, dude. We're just running through these free agency contracts because they're insane, as you probably know. And another one that I just want to address because my video last night was was not all the best. I'm very well aware of that. Yes, it was Jacoby Brissette to the Dolphins. To respond to your comment, big play Slay, I do apologize for my mistake. He did not go to the Titans. He did go to the Dolphins. So thank you. Oh, dude, don't worry about it. No problem. My internet is always annoying. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about some of these other ones as well, Patty.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, and I also just before we go into that, you were right. You and I were talking about this off air the other day that Kenny Golladay was spotted in New York. I just read that they are showing mutual interest in each other, the Giants and Kenny Golladay. I'll touch on this a little bit, guys. I've mentioned this in previous streams. I think over the last 2-3 days, he's not a guy that scares me. I touched on this with Patty off air. He is, to me, this is my opinion. This is what I feel. He's just a little bit more versatile than Alshon Jeffrey was when we signed him back in 2017. He's a bit faster. He's a bit more agile, but he's not a guy that scares me that much. Is he better at route running? Yes. But I need to see Kenny Golladay do more than someone who's considered to be top-notch wide receiver. So if the Giants want to go ahead and overpay for Kenny Golladay, be my guest, bro. Be my guest.
But it's going back to everything. Let's as far as a rundown is concerned, kind of like what we talked about. It seems like all the teams that had cap space is indeed opening up their wallets and getting all these top guys signed already. Not besides all the guys that we already talked about. Some quarterback news, of course. Jameis Winston going back to the Saints amidst Drew Brees' retirement. So we'll see. He did have the year over there to learn the system, learn under Drew Brees. So maybe he'll get another crack at a starting quarterback job. We'll see. Tyrod Taylor, as you know. You and I always talked about Tyrod Taylor as a possibility for the Eagles too.
Yeah. So and Jacoby was the one who we just forgot to mention that made more sense. Yeah.
Yep. And Jacoby also, signing, like I said, away. So that leaves a couple different options. I mean, and then like there are some talks. We'll kind of get into it a little bit later after we touch on all these free agents, like rapid fire style. But of course, Deshaun Watson. The Eagles were mentioned, as you told me, as possibility. It looks like the Panthers are going all in on the on that front too for Deshaun Watson, and the 49ers are actually stepping up for that too.
So scary.
Dude, you gotta look into this though. Like the reported offer for Deshaun Watson. I mean, if the Eagles fans, the 49ers fan, the Panthers fan, this is what you gotta kind of look into, because it's the Bears offered Russell Wilson 3 first-round picks, 2 starting caliber players, and 2 additional picks, and then that couldn't get the deal done. So you would have to think Deshaun Watson is going to be in that same conversation as far as the compensation is concerned.
No, okay. So I know where we're going. I know where we're going with this. By the way, guys, as you can tell, I got my mic back. Woo! Sorry, I'm really excited about it. So they're not the same. And the reason why is Russell Wilson has been more consistent throughout his entire career. Russell Wilson is a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Well, here's where I like to disagree with you right off the bat. Is just that there's an age factor that also comes in. Like there's an age factor that comes in.
Yeah, King, welcome to the channel today, my man. Happy Wednesday. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it. So I'm not saying the Bears offer.
Yeah, the age factor. You're right.
Yeah, that's I'm not saying the Bears offer for the Russell Wilson is going to be equivalent to what any team acquiring Deshaun Watson should expect, but it has to be a fairly I can't even talk. Huge package that's going to be offered out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Big Play Slay says, "Hey DB and Patrick, the Jets fan." Ha 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 ha. Nah, I'm joking. I'm reading this. You can see this, right?
Yeah, I can see that one. All love, man. No worries. You can talk.
No, I know. Dude, but how did Deshaun? How did the Deshaun Watson to the whole Jets thing die down that quick? I don't know that it did, honestly. I think here I'll address this and I'll let you talk and then I'll let you go at it because you'll probably have a better take at it just because for being, Jets fan.
Sure.
I don't know if it did. I think it is one of those things where it's possible, guys, that behind closed doors, the talks with the Jets could still be the strongest. Reason being is usually when we see things like this, when things get quiet, means that something's about to go down. We've seen that with trades with Philadelphia and whatever other team it's been with before, and sometimes that's just the way that trades kind of play out. Is it gets quiet and then boom, that thing happens. So it's possible that it can still be the Jets. But it is kind of interesting just to kind of take this back to Philadelphia. It is odd. It is odd, Patrick. And honestly, just being an Eagles fan and this being an Eagles channel, I do have to touch on this in depth a little bit. Jason Lockenfora obviously bringing this up and saying in his report that nobody in the organization is denying that there is interest in Deshaun Watson and that they are monitoring the trade situation for Deshaun Watson very, very closely. Honestly, I want to address this real quick is I believe that, and this goes back to Howie Roseman, right? Because Howie Roseman has control over the 53-man roster. I believe that if Howie Roseman believes that Deshaun Watson is the best move, he will move heaven and earth to go get Deshaun Watson. So we're looking at, because they have the draft capital, they have the trade value. We know that when it comes to the point system, they can take care of that in a heartbeat. They really can. But will it happen is the thing. And what does that mean for Jalen Hurts? This is what this goes back to, dude. This is exactly what this goes back to is Howie Roseman doesn't know how to nurture a franchise quarterback. Let's say that Jalen Hurts is the franchise quarterback. Let's say they struck gold when they drafted this fucker in the second round, and he's another franchise quarterback waiting in the wings. He doesn't know how to nurture them. And so he will fuck this guy up just like he fucked up Carson. And that's exactly what Deshaun will do. That's exactly what Deshaun will do. Because look, he may have had adversity at fucking Alabama and with Tua, but like, that's Tua. This is Deshaun. There's a big difference. Adversity against Deshaun is not the same as adversity against Tua Tuscaloosa, whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Go ahead and if you want to touch on that.
Yeah. I mean, here's my take on it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to go straight up and straightforward. Jets are not getting Deshaun Watson. Eagles are not getting Deshaun Watson.
I agree.
Jets. To answer the question earlier, Jets. I think the only reason why really started as a pipe dream is obviously Jets needing a quarterback, and then Deshaun Watson when this whole trade request came out, he did mention New York Jets as one of the teams that he'd be interested in going to. So I think that's where the dialogue really started. But that's where the flame really got lit, but it didn't really ignite from there. So there wasn't a whole lot from there. So I think the Jets are leaning more towards from, looking at the local media and then like the different things that they're doing as far as scouting these different quarterbacks are concerned, is that they're leaning towards taking a quarterback in number 2. Whether it's, I'm sure it's Zach Wilson, but and then trading Sam Darnold elsewhere for different assets. The interesting thing is, and then we've discussed this off the air too, is that teams like Seattle Seahawks are already saying that they'd be interested in taking Sam Darnold on. When their situation with Russell Wilson is not even settled. So I have no doubt that Sam Darnold will have some takers, and I think that's the direction that the Jets are going. Right. As far as Deshaun Watson to the Eagles are concerned, it's like I agree with everything that you said as far as like the cultural aspects of it and like all the personnel issues. The two things that I'm going to point to is the price could be very prohibitive when it comes to trades without any type of restructuring. It's hard to fit his type of salary cap with a trade bonuses coming in to the Eagles salary cap that I've looked at. No matter what, you'll have to do a lot of sacrificing. And then Eagles do have a lot of draft capital for them to go and acquire some of these guys like Deshaun Watson. But I think it'll be detrimental to Eagles, in my opinion, to give up all these picks when they have the rebuild of their own to do. So, they might be able to get Deshaun Watson under center, but but what are you going to do with the rest of the team?
Yeah, think about it this way too, and Big Play Slate pulled up a perfect point, which is the no trade clause. And that's one. But think about it this way too. These guys have the same private QB coach that they've been, or the same QB coach that they've been working out with this offseason. So they probably became good friends. And just because Deshaun Watson has that no trade clause, I don't know if he would want to ruffle Jalen's feathers. You know what I mean? I just don't see that, especially if they've become good friends. You know, I mean, maybe it's just me. I mean, I don't think he would want to. I don't think he would want to do that. I don't think he would want to do that. So there's another reason, and there's another reason for that. And also, Jeffrey Lurie would keep that from happening so quickly after what he said. Like, I don't know where Jason Lockton is getting his information from, but he's not the most trustworthy source of information. So. That's
right.
That.
I mean, like generally, like you take those with a grain of salt, we're at a point where a lot of teams are feeding different information to different people to kind of like use it as a leverage too. So, just let's pivoting back to, to finish off the conversation about the free agency. Majority of the top name guys, it seems like they are already off the board. It seems like the one position that they really haven't been touched is a receiver from what it looks like. So it looks like T.Y. Hilton is heading back to the Colts. And then the big news recently that's coming out is locally, A.J. Green of the Bengals is going to sign with the Arizona Cardinals. And the Arizona Cardinals are also trading their third-round pick for All-Pro center Ronnie Hudson, which is a huge get for them too. So
you did say that. And speaking of the Arizona Cardinals, because we do have to transition into the NFC West today, because that is certainly something that we've promised these guys. We've promised all of you, Big Play Slate, Dak is King Miro, all of you, on Sunday, that we would do a deep dive into the NFC West. But obviously, free agency is extensively important right now because it is the official day of the new league year. NFC West is weird. I agree with you, Dak is King. They did just sign AJ Green. They did just sign AJ Green, though. I don't know how much of a good move that is, though, Patrick. I mean, if you want to touch on AJ Green, that signing a little bit more than I want to, you can. But I mean, he's kind of like he hasn't been himself for a solid 3-4 years now. So I mean,
yeah, he's one of those guys that I'm like I'm okay with given the contract situation, and it's only a 1-year deal. Like at a 1-year deal at $6 million, I mean it's a risk worth taking. Because I mean, judging by the Kenny Golladay and then like Curtis Samuel and Will Fuller, seeing what they were about to get, it's a shrewd move in my opinion, and their dire needs were at the center position, and then for them to get Rodney Hudson in a trade, which is going to take up almost $10 million in cap space, they couldn't really spend a whole lot into the receiver position. And they still have to shore up the running back and the quarterback room too. So not a bad deal. I mean, he did have some off years, like hopefully being able to play in this kind of system with like with DeAndre Hopkins and Christian Kirk, and hopefully the Larry Fitzgerald will come back for another season. And if he can really play that slot position for them and have AJ Green on the outside, I think it's going to really help him out too. So who knows? But I think the main thing for the Arizona Cardinals right now is getting Rodney Hudson on fold, really shoring up that defensive line and offensive line. Having J.J. Watt, obviously, and Chandler Jones coming back on the defensive end. And then as far as offensive side is concerned, there you have DJ Humphries and Justin Pugh on the left side. They just re-signed Kelvin Mitchum to the two-year contract at the right tackle, and then bringing number one pass protector since 2015. Ronnie Hudson over with just a third round pick is impressive moves too. So, yeah, I mean those are some moves that's been made as far as like Arizona Cardinals are concerned. But I think the main question mark is all at the end of the day Seattle Seahawks, dude.
Yeah, I mean, since we've talked, I mean, it seems like he's not getting traded, Russell Wilson. So I mean, I don't. I mean, I don't know. I don't right now. It's a question mark. It's a title page with a question mark. It's like, what's the title of that? What's the title of that book? Well, we just don't know yet because I don't know if they're going to keep Russell or not. It's a hard thing to. I mean, when rumors come out like that, your immediate thought is like, no, there's no way. Right. And so like there is a week of like, yeah, there's no way that's gonna happen. But the way that whole thing played out, bro, is like, okay, yeah, we started to believe that it actually could happen, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, he's not getting traded. So I don't know. I think there's a little bit of shock and awe value surrounding that team right now. So,
right, it's a weird thing, like you said, because like right after the Bears announcement of Andy Dalton being their starting quarterback with a $10 million deal, the next two reports that came out was that Pete Carroll was super interested in Sam Darnold, and then there's another report, of course, from Adam Schefter, who's just as tuned in as anybody out in this industry, said that he still wouldn't rule out Bears trading for Russell Wilson's. So, like you said, it's a bunch of unknown at this point.
Yeah, and talking about Adam Schefter, I mean, that's a little crazy that he came out and said he believes that four quarterbacks are going within the first 7 picks.
Yes.
Which is something that you've echoed. You've echoed that sentiment, over the past month and a half, and I just don't understand. I mean, I guess 4 makes sense. You said 5, I think, in the first 10.
Yeah, I think there's potential for 5. I think 4 is almost a guarantee at this point. 5, there's a possibility. Yeah.
If there's a trade, but here's the other thing too. Is the Eagles could be one of those teams, and let me follow it up with this: is Howie Roseman? There's a recent report on Bleacher Report that Howie Roseman did not rule out drafting a quarterback at pick 6, right. And usually when someone doesn't rule it out, like I get it, like he's not saying yes, he's not saying no, and so it could go either way. But like you kind of are.
If this is just my 2 cents, I think that's just a smokescreen, just to build up the trade value for the number 6 pick. Whether if they are trying to go down, if teams are aware that you are seriously considering taking a quarterback, like people are gonna try to trade up and take that quarterback. They're gonna be afraid of you taking their quarterback. So, I mean, right now I don't have Eagles taking the quarterback. Just without any type of trades, I can totally see 4 quarterbacks right off the bat. Number 1, obviously, with the Jaguars. Number 2 with the Jets. Number 4 with the Hawks. I think they are going to go quarterback route. And then the big one is I think the Lions will trade down, and then with a team like the 49ers are going to trade up to get either Justin Fields or Trey Lance, whoever's available. So that's 4 right there that I'm like anticipating. Yeah, I would be shocked if those 4 guys don't go before pick 7, pick 8, in my opinion.
I agree. I agree with that. I do agree with that. Here's my take on that. I think Howie Roseman is full of smoke screens and he needs to get his glasses cleaned, like by. That's what I think. But let's keep it on the Eagles for a second. Zach Ertz did not get released. Zach Ertz did not get traded. Jimmy Kempski came out and put out a report that the Eagles are open to trading Zach Ertz. Yeah, no shit. It's like, why? That came out like an hour ago. It's like, yeah, no shit. They're open to trading Zach Ertz, you weasel. What does this look like, Patty? What does it mean?
It's a peculiar situation, of course. I mean, Zach Ertz, we anticipated him being gone prior to the league year start, but he's still here. He's still here. And then last we heard yesterday, really, like the Eagles have given their longtime tight end, obviously, clearly one of their faces of their franchise for quite some time, the permission to seek trade, which means that he was able to openly go and discuss with teams that he's interested in playing for. I think the only team that's actually been reported is the Bills, that Zach Ertz actually reached out to them. Whether the Bills have the same mutual interest and if they're willing to cough up whatever the Eagles are wanting to take back for Zach Ertz. So, I mean, it's a two-way street, of course. Like Zach Ertz can get the best situation for him if the Bills are where he wants to go, and then he can agree that that's where they want to make a trade at. I mean, it still comes down to the Eagles and Bills working out the compensation for it. So, like the Eagles giving the Ertz an opportunity to look for the team that he wants to go to is more of like a respecting, like, here you go, like, here's an opportunity for you to tell us which directions that you want to go. But at the end of the day, the Eagles have to be okay with the compensation. So we'll see, man. It's just dragging out a lot longer than it should. The only thing that I thought would help his situation out is the two top guys in Jonas Smith and Hunter Henry already being taken off the market. But
by the same team.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But then from all the reports, it seems like instead of Zach Ertz market picking up, it seems like it's Kyle Rudolph market that's picking up. So who knows? I feel like for a lot of teams, Zach Ertz is just such a question mark and unknown that they're just trying to go with these other options prior to going his route. So
doesn't make sense to me, Patrick. That does not make sense to me. Zach Ertz is a better tight end than Kyle Rudolph.
Right. I think that's the thing, though. Kyle Rudolph is available. Like, you can sign him, and then you see there's a sense of urgency. Like, if you were, I was watching the NFL Network analysis as a free agencies were rolling in, the amount of teams and the top players that have been getting taken off the shelf has been crazy. Like, generally the NFL first, second, and third day, it's pretty quick, but then this your options are dwindling already.
Yeah, but Zach Ertz, and you might disagree with me on this,
right.
But Zach Ertz is still the fourth best tight end in this league. Here's why. Here's why. Look, there's a huge drop off. It's actually not that huge, but look, there's Travis Kelce, there's George Kittle, and I'm gonna put Darren Waller up there, and then there's Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz still gets open. Still gets open in the middle of the field better than almost better than anyone in the league. Still does.
Here's the thing. That's another conversation, honestly, but I disagree with you. I don't even have him in my top five. I mean, Darren Waller, George Kittle, Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews of the Ravens have been the top tight end for quite some time too. Mike Gesicki with Miami Dolphins. Yeah. You got a lot of guys. Yeah. So his stock has been hurt. His stock has been hurt, and there are a lot of younger guys that are also an option too, whether they produce or not. I mean, there's guys like Jared Cook, there's Hayden Hurst, there's Jonas Smith.
Yeah. Well, wait, because we got to get into this now. Okay, so a lot of this is not Zach Ertz's fault. The offense has been sputtering for the last 2 years, and he put up great numbers in 2018 after Frank Reich left, and that's when the offensive sputter started. That's when he broke Jason Witten's record for receptions by a tight end. And look, he missed 5 games, yes, but he still had somewhere around 375 yards. And he was starting to click on when he came back from injury. So guys like Patrick, I mean, six to 800 yards is above average for a tight end.
Right. Well, here's the thing, though. I think
And
you're getting my point.
And Gesicki needs to do it more consistently, and Jared Cook has never been consistent.
I think you're getting my point mixed up too, though. The thing is, it's not the matter of whether Zach Ertz is a better tight end or not. Of course, if you were to give me Zach Ertz, I would say he's still a top 10 tight end material. And that he's better than Zach Ertz, of course. I mean, not Zach Ertz, Kyle Rudolph. The thing is, my point was, it's if you are an NFL team in this offseason where the guys are flying off the market, you can't keep waiting on Zach Ertz. You just can't. You can't wait on him, because not only you're waiting on him to make a decision, and you have to speak with Howie Roseman, what do you want, or is he going to get released, or all that stuff. So if you're in a team with like limited cap space, I'm just going to use the Cardinals as an example, because they just signed Rodney Hudson and they just signed JJ Watt, obviously, AJ Green, so they have limited cap space. So they were talking about the positional needs. Yeah. They need to go sign kicker. Matt Prater's in town, so he might be coming town. Mike Davis is in town, so he might sign here. So that leaves them with $4 million of cap space. They already traded a 3rd-round pick for Hudson. They already traded 4th-round pick last year. So they're not going to trade any other draft picks for the Eagles, and that they can't keep waiting for Zach Ertz to be released, or if the Eagles to take a lower offer. So in the cases like that, obviously their main targets are going to be Kyle Rudolph, and I think that's where it is right now. It's just, of course.
So and Dak is king came to your defense. No, my point is this. My point was this. I believe that he's still arguably the 4th, 5th best tight end in the league. Why wouldn't you offer a 4th-round pick? I understand. I'm not talking about the Cardinals. I'm talking about the Bills. I think that's a perfect actually place for him to go, especially with their signing of Emmanuel Sanders. You know what I mean? That would be a perfect dynamic. That would be a perfect dynamic trio there.
Right.
Josh Allen to Emmanuel Sanders and Zach Ertz.
Stephon Diggs,
Stephon Diggs, yeah. I mean, wouldn't you? I mean, I would. I mean, I wasn't. I don't. Right. Yeah, I wasn't arguing. Why teams would wait for Zach Ertz versus signing Kyle Rudolph. I get that. Kyle Rudolph can still play too. My point is this: I still think that he's a top 10 tight end. And if you're a team that's in contention, why wouldn't you trade what the Eagles want you to trade them in order to get a tight end who could still perform at a high level, in my opinion.
Right. No, I agree with you. Like for me, if I was a team that had a decent cap space, like if I had a decent cap space that I was able to use on Zach Ertz, I wouldn't be opposed to trading a 4th-round pick at all. Like, sure. You go out there and take a 4th-round tight end. How often is he going to turn into a caliber of Zach Ertz's player? Like it's not going to happen. But then kind of like going down the list of teams with the cap spaces right now, and then these are like roughly updated. Like we're looking at some teams like the Jets and Jaguars. They seem like they have zero intentions of trading their picks or for anything.
Hey, why don't you talk about the Jets a little bit, buddy? buddy.
Jets are later topic, not important right now. But there are teams that can definitely get him, but it's like it's hard, man. Just going down team by team, like I'm like every time I see a fit with Zach Ertz situation, I see like Zach Ertz would be a good fit for the Colts. Like I see Zach Ertz would be a good fit for the Chargers. I think he'd be a great fit for like teams like Washington football team, or even like the teams like the Bengals, or like you can kind of go down. Like he can go and help many teams out. Like the Vikings that just lost Rudolph, or the Cardinals that don't have any tight ends. But the thing is, like these guys, their priorities. I think that's where the concerns come in. They have limited cap spaces, and their priorities are different. They want to go and they need to shore up different positions. And I think Zach Ertz is just not one of their, not just Zach Ertz. I don't think tight end is their main cause of concern. You know what I mean? So I think that's slowing down his market. And then it's just it's unfortunate situation both for the Eagles and Zach Ertz. You know, it's an ugly divorce. I mean, so far.
Oh yeah, no, it's been an ugly divorce since the beginning of the season when him and Howie got in a public dispute in
Yeah,
practice.
I mean, positive news, kind of. I mean, not Eagles related, really, but I mean, today's the first day that Carson Wentz is officially a Colts quarterback.
I know, I saw that. I love
He
that.
he went with number 2 to
I
pay
know.
homage to Jalen
I was
Hurts.
just gonna bring that up, dude. He's so bitter. It's gotta be bitter. He's gotta be bitter. Of course, he's bitter. You're gonna.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I was like, he picked number 2. I'm like, good for you, man. Good, you know, show it off.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's totally gonna. He's gonna be like, look who does better. That's exactly what went through his mind when he chose that number. It had to have been. It's gonna be like, look who does. Watch who does better, me or Jalen. It had to have been. It had to have been.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are competitors. You know, like no matter what, no matter how, you know, graceful he was leaving the Eagles, and I'm sure he's grateful for all the opportunities and all the, you know, time that he spent with the Eagles. But I'm sure he has a chip on his shoulder. You know, I'm sure.
Well, yeah,
Carson
they completely
cannot wait to play the Eagles.
And some of the new subscribers don't know how I feel about Carson Wentz, but like I will echo this over and over again. I defended that man till my face turned like into a fucking gremlin. Like I love Carson Wentz, and he deserves every bit of success that he gets in Indianapolis. And I'm glad that he didn't go to the Bears. And if you guys remember, do you guys remember the fucking rumors that were coming out? Oh yeah, they're gonna trade him to Chicago, and we're gonna get Nick Foles in return, and there's this and there's that, and like I was like, oh my god, like it goosebumps fucking.
You still there, bro?
Fandom. No, it wasn't okay. It was scary because like Nick Foles, bringing Nick Foles back into the city of Philadelphia would have ruined Jalen Hurts. It would have ruined Jalen Hurts. Like the Folesian Society's thoughts are so strong, bro. And like there's a statue of Foles and Doug Peterson outside of the stadium. Like that would have ruined Jalen Hurts just like it ruined Carson Wentz. And like Carson, they fucked Carson, bro. They absolutely fucked him. They didn't get him help. They tried, but they failed. And usually when you fail, when you try to get your franchise quarterback help, and this is exactly what I mean about the failure to nurture your franchise quarterback that you drafted, you usually try again. Like if you draft JJ Arcega-Whiteside instead of drafting DK Metcalf, and JJ Arcega-Whiteside ends up becoming your 7th string wide receiver in less than a year.
Hey man, you're gonna make King Miro here all upset with that DK Metcalf talk.
I know I am. Well, he's already mentioned DK Metcalf in the beginning of the stream. I just didn't pop it up here, but it's every time, and I absolutely love it because he reminds me. That's why I love having King here, because he reminds me that we need to be pissed off about that. Because that is exactly it. And that's exactly why we're scared about fucking having Howard Roseman continue to be in this goddamn building. Or this doggone building, as Brian Dawkins used to say at every press conference.
I mean, just as a transition to that, you know, I'm gonna let me ask you, and then whoever's still listening right now at this very moment. Question is, you know, Jacoby Brissette and Tyrod Taylor were the two quarterbacks that we were looking at for the Eagles in the free agent market. You know, like at this point with those two being gone, I mean, like what's your take? What's your personal take? What's everybody else's take? I mean, put a name out there for us. Where do you find a secondary quarterback at this point?
You know, that's a great question, and I was thinking about that last night. And the only quarterback that came to mind, Patty, even though it's probably out of reach, is Mitch Trubisky, is Trubiscuit, as Philly 500 loves to say, Mitch Trubiscuit. I feel like he's out of the price range that we can assign to a backup quarterback. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Being an Eagles fan and watching the Eagles not be able to be players in the beginning of free agency. Like it's not normal. for this team to be in the position that they're in. And it kind of goes back to us being in a big market. It's like teams in big markets are not supposed to be in this situation. They're just not. And like that's not my fandom talking. That's not me like, yeah, go out and grab every goddamn guy that you can get. It's me saying, no, there is like a flashy side to this where GMs are not just all about personnel and making trades and moves, guys. Like another aspect that is not really talked about all that much is like another aspect to the franchise is the marketing side. And an aspect to the marketing side is to get a feel and gauge what the fans are thinking. And so where I'm going with this is like, we're not doing anything, Patrick. Like we're a team in the big market and we're not doing anything. And that's a problem. Like it's a huge problem. And like, right. And like, look, wait. And like, we're talking about a backup quarterback, Patrick. That's not a lot of money. We lost Jacoby Brissette to the Miami Dolphins. We couldn't even go out and grab Jacoby Brissette. That's a problem. To
me, here's the thing. I mean, I'm curious to see what the Eagles' thought process was in this whole situation, and not just the Eagles, a couple other teams. You know, like they knew the free agency was opening up, and they didn't clear up the cap space like we were expecting them to. You know, like
I don't think it's because they didn't want. I don't think it's because they
right. Especially during legal tampering period, you saw all these guys already agreeing to terms and getting off the board. You would kind of have to act swiftly, and I'm sure they did do their best to open it up. But that cap space, I'm sure, like hurt them a lot in the process of actually acquiring these guys. As far as like the fits are concerned, we talked about it. Tyrod Taylor and Jacoby Brissette would have been the best two options to come in and be that help. I mean, what do you have left at this point? You got Mitchell Trubisky, you got Blaine Gabberts of the world, you got Alex Smith of the world. I mean, I don't know. Trade market. I mean, you could look into trade market. There are guys that's going to be available. Like Gardner Minshew is going to be available. Sam Darnold's going to be available. There's, there's guys that's going to be available because of this draft coming up.
Well, I mentioned this before, and I actually want to address. I'm going to address this way is just to touch on what you were saying. Is I believe that they're not happy about it at all. I believe that they tried to clear this up. And I think, this is a theory, I think that they were expecting Lane Johnson to restructure his contract and they didn't get it done. I think that there's something there. Maybe we can read around a little bit, but I think that there's something there. Derek Barnett, nothing happened there, dude. And I think that they should have made a move. I honestly don't understand. Like, he's not worth bringing back. There's guys in this draft that you can replace Derek Barnett with. You know, that's $10 million. You know, do we actually think we're going to get more out of Derek Barnett than what he's already given us? Like, that's $10 million. Here's the thing. I think Jeffrey Lurie is livid, bro. I think he's absolutely livid. I think Howie Roseman's not like Howie Roseman is a kid in a candy shop when it comes to free agency. Like he does have that mindset. Sometimes he's not very good. He's horrible at drafting. But when it comes to free agency, he is a kid in a candy shop. That's the way he thinks. But he's also good with numbers too. So like he wants to be interested in guys. He wants to be interested. He is always listening. So this is probably bothering them a ton. But I also want to address the backup quarterback trade scenario situation. I brought this up a month ago. Easton Stick. Quarterback Easton Stick. The Eagles were interested in him when he was coming out of the draft to back up Carson Wentz. That could be a name that we could possibly see resurface. Who knows? That's just a shot in the dark, but you never know.
Yeah, it's and then here's the thing. I don't know if any of you out there read a story this afternoon by Matt Mullen in Philadelphia Voice. It's a very insightful piece, and I would suggest anybody to look into it. There's an excerpt from Jeffrey Lurie thanking Carson Wentz. There is an excerpt from Howie Roseman about how the relationship with Carson ended. That I'm not going to get into. It's a whole nother topic. It's going to, spark some fires and stuff like that. So we're really trying to stay on topic today. And then only thing that I'm going to bring up is the whole Sirianni's quotes when it comes to Hurts. Keep in mind that this is the first time that he was able to speak on this topic without Carson Wentz hanging over his head because he wasn't traded yet. So he couldn't really speak about Jalen Hurts really openly in what he thought about.
Can I stop you for a second?
Sure.
Breaking news. Eagles release defensive tackle Malik Jackson. Eagles release wide receiver Alshon Jeffrey.
Okay.
That's it. Alshon Jeffrey's been released, guys, and Big Play Slay, thank you for shooting that. I just fact checked that too.
Okay, nice. I'll kind of have to look into what the cap space will look like after that. So let me do that while I read on this. So going back to the topic. So Nick Sirianni says, what we saw is a player who can really extend plays and create on his own. We saw his ability to create when things weren't there. That's an unbelievable asset to have as a football team. You can see his toughness on tape and how he carried himself. He's a leader who loves football. There is no substitute for that. And then it kind of goes on for a little bit, but nowhere in this conversation does he mention that he is their starting quarterback or that they are running with him too. So I think they're kind of keeping this as an open-ended question, which is interesting to me. Howie Roseman did say they won't put a cap on what they're going to do at the position. And like I said, it's going back to it. Is it a smokescreen? Is it just maybe they're actually considering taking a quarterback at number 6 that he didn't rule it out, like you said. So we just don't know. Like all these quotes about Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts coming out, it's just causing more confusion at this point because nobody's committing to anything.
Right. No, exactly. No, and that's kind of been his pulse though since he's been hired. And I love that. I love that too. You know what I mean? Like Nick, he's not going to. I think here's the thing too. Is he didn't do it when Carson was still here before Carson was traded. And I don't see a reason for him to do it after Carson was traded. So, I mean, that makes sense. I think, and it kind of goes back to conversations that you and I had previously off air and on air is, it's like we're used to seeing new head coaches wanting to bring in their own guy, possibly. He might want to do that, or he's definitely going to test it out. He's going to leave that open. But he's also going to evaluate and do everything he can to get an in-depth look at Jalen Hurts. Jalen did a phenomenal job. There's one thing that you are right about, Patrick, and that is that offense was designed. We don't know. Here's the thing, because they did have design plays. They did have design plays for Jalen Hurts. So we don't know how much of Carson's offense he was running, but he definitely was running some because Doug had different offenses. For whatever fucking backup quarterback he had and Carson. Like it just was so astronomically different when Carson came off the field, whether it was Nick Foles or whatever backup quarterback it was. But there's one thing that really impressed me about Jalen Hurts that I read after the season was Jalen didn't know the full playbook. He didn't know so he was calling his own plays in there. And these are things that I read afterward, and Adam Kaplan talked on this on Inside the Birds with Jeff Mosher. Is like he didn't, and so like he was calling his own plays sometimes in the huddle because he wasn't as familiar with the playbook quite yet. And so some of the stuff that he was able to do, like beating the number 1 ranked defense at the time, the New Orleans Saints, bringing the team back against the Arizona Cardinals when we were down like 26-14 or whatever it was, and then leading 27-16 in the fourth quarter, and then all that jazz. Like it was impressive. It was impressive. And so everything that he's been doing in the offseason makes me want to see him play. It makes me want to see him get the full season. Will we see that happen? I don't know. Will they take a quarterback at 6? I don't know. Do I want that to happen? No. I'd rather see them. Obviously, we've talked about this on end. I'd rather see them take a playmaker. And if you're in a position to draft the quarterback again next season, then do it. You'll have the 2 first-round picks because Carson Wentz is going to blow it up in Indy anyway to move up if you need to.
Right.
So,
right. Right.
You know,
I agree with you. I agree with all the assessment. And then just to kind of jump in about Malik Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey. So that does free up $4 million in cap space. It does still carry $9 million in dead money. So that sucks, but it does open up that $4 million in cap space. So
yeah, exactly.
A lot of dead money though. Oof.
A lot of dead money. Hey, MG Elbeck 23. Welcome, my man. I haven't seen you in here before. Please like and subscribe. Eagle sign Nick Gurr. I have not seen that. Yet. Patrick, can you confirm that?
To be honest with you, I don't even know who Nick Gurr is.
I don't even either.
Yeah.
Who is Nick Gurr? It sounds like an offensive lineman name, honestly.
No.
Oh, Nick Gary. Oh, Nate Gary? No, they didn't. No, they didn't sign Nate. No, they didn't. If they sign Nate Gary, I'm going to lose my fucking lid.
I doubt it.
Nate Gary needs to go bag groceries at Safeway for your elderly ladies book club.
Yeah, I don't see anything as far as Nathan Gary is concerned on my feed, so cannot confirm or deny.
I like it. Does he play linebacker?
He does play linebacker. If it's Nate Gary that he's talking about, but
I know who he is. I know who Nate Gary is.
Yeah, but I don't see anything as far as the report is concerned. So we'll kind of have to wait and see.
Oh, I know where they're going. I know where they're going with that. Guys, that's funny. But no, I did not. And neither did Patrick. Very, very funny. Very funny, guys. It's a funny joke. It's a little funny, but it's not funny. All right, let's move on.
I see. No.
Yeah,
we don't do that. No,
yeah, we don't
absolutely not. Especially especially it's a serious topic, especially in today's climate, with a lot of stuff happening. I mean, yeah, that's something that we don't appreciate. We'll be a little bit more mindful going forward too. But with everything that's been happening, and especially with a lot of shootings that's happening yesterday towards someone else too, some other group of people, we gotta really stop hate and stuff like that. So
yeah, MG Beck, please don't do that again. Sorry, buddy, but I'm gonna have to.
All right, so
go ahead and move on, Patrick.
Yeah, move on though. It's a peculiar situation where the Eagles are being put into, and then we're not going to know a whole lot. Obviously the free agency is going to fly through, and then we've expected this as far as the Eagles are concerned. We knew that they were going to take a step away from these top tier free agents, and they're going to go into kind of the guys that are left, and maybe that's still lingering in the market towards the end, who didn't really get what they wanted. That's where the Eagles can really go in there and pick up some valuable pieces. It's interesting though, because with a lot of these different moves at the
one second. Yeah. Guys, what MG Beck just did is not tolerated on my channel at all. So I hope you guys can hear that loud and clear. If things like that do happen on my watch, and I see it happen, you guys will be banned and not welcome back. I don't care where I'm at with my channel. I don't care how popular it is quite yet. I don't care how many subscribers I have, whether I have 30, whether I have 35, whether I have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. You will get banned. You will get blocked. I will not allow you back in here. It is not okay. It is not okay. That is not what I'm about. That is not what Patrick J is about. So yes, he has been banned. King, he has been banned. So don't ever come in here and do that again. If you guys see that activity coming in here and you guys see that type of stuff in the comment feed, please immediately let me know, because I'm constantly watching the comments and I'm always deciding that's how blind I am to that stuff. Like, I didn't know. I thought that was an actual guy. But do not ever, and I will say this over and over again, do not ever have that behavior go on in my channel. And if you guys disagree with it, you guys can leave now. Got it? Cool. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about this, Patty. I want to talk about
Go ahead. It's a weird topic, kind of just going off of what he said, in today's climate, with everything going on, with everything that, our African American friends, brothers and sisters have suffered, for the past quite some time, and then recently with yesterday's shooting, with the whole Stop Asian Hate movements, there's a lot of people that are afraid to be themselves and represent themselves. So you really, it's something that we, not only just because of this platform and this channel, but just as a whole, as a person, as a human being, in like your real life, you shouldn't be doing that, especially hidden behind a message board. It's something that we gotta make sure that we're looking out for each other. It's just not tolerated. So with that being said, just moving on to more of a topic that's a little bit more relevant. We did talk about the Eagles. Eagles are a lot of question marks. So I think we can leave it at that. We did touch on the free agency a little bit, so we can happily move on to NFC West. I know we took a little break over Monday and Tuesday, so we can kind of wrap up with NFC West today, and then move on to what is it, NFC South, I believe that's left, and then move on to the AFC.
Yeah, NFC South. NFC South is after NFC West, and then we'll be able to move on to the AFC.
Exactly, and I know a lot of. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. Which is when we'll talk about the craziness that is the New England Patriots, guys, because Bill Belichick has absolutely lost his mind. He clearly is addressing this offseason like Brady's ex-girlfriend. Just kidding. I mean, you signed two of the top tight ends in free agency, bro. It's like what? Like,
yeah, Bill just Bill never Bill just don't like losing, I'll tell you that. So
I know.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll save that. But let's go into NFC West. We go through all these different topics just because I know majority of you are Eagles fan, and then a Cowboy fan right there, and Dak. But and I don't know who rest of the people that watch it after the live stream ends are, but it's important, I think, that we discuss all the other teams around the league to kind of get the state of the NFL as a whole. And at the same time, if there's any type of Eagles correlation, we'll definitely bring it up. But let's start with what I get made fun of all the time. Let's start with the Cardinals. We touched on that. We touched on that team a whole lot. They are working with Kyler Murray on a rookie contract, so I think they are going all in as far as like these next two seasons concerned. Very, very exciting quarterback. I'm sure you guys have seen Jalen Hurts play. There's a lot of similarities to what Kyler brings in his game, and he's obviously on the upper trajectory as far as like taking the next step towards being a top 10 quarterback is concerned. Their main concern was to shore up their offensive line, and then their main concern was the snapper. And they got Rodney Hudson, who is three-time Pro Bowler. He has been ranked number 1 in pass rushing in Pro Football Focus since 2015, so that's a huge get. They were in the Corey Linsley market, so it's a very good consolation prize for them. They did shore up their defensive line with J.J. Watt, to see. I'm sure he's got a lot left in his tank. Like they're replacing Hassan Reddick with him, who went to the Panthers, obviously. So they got a good D-line fortified there with Jordan Phillips still coming back. Their linebacker core is interesting. They got Jordan Hicks, former Eagle, who me and Dylan can both agree that should have never left the Eagles. Like I think Jordan Hicks definitely brings a lot to that team as far as a leadership and everything is concerned.
Well, that's Hy Roseman's take on. That's a perfect example of Hy Roseman's take on linebackers right there. You guys didn't pay him a lot of money. It was like what? It was like a 6 to 8 year, $8 million per year deal, right?
Yeah. I think his cap hit's only like his cap hit's like 7 point something. So that's it. So
yeah, that's underpaid for. I remember watching his first preseason game with you actually. Yeah. And he had like 2 forced fumbles in that first preseason game. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. like it was like, yeah, I hated that we lost Jordan Hicks, but you know who drafted Jordan Hicks, right?
Who drafted Jordan Hicks?
Chip Kelly.
Oh, was it Chip Kelly? No way.
Yeah, it was Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly had a phenomenal draft that season. It was not how
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, Jordan Hicks has turned himself into a leader, man. Like he's been the captain this last year, and he's going to come back to do that. So, I mean, if you really look at Arizona Cardinals defense, you start with Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt up front, which is pretty scary to start with, and then you got guys like Jordan Hicks and Isaiah Simmons at linebacker position. And you got all-pro, 3-time Pro Bowler Budda Baker, who's always one of the top safeties in the backfield. So their main question marks are the cornerbacks. They let go Patrick Peterson. Who knows if he'll be back. So they really don't have any cornerbacks. They have Byron Murphy who can play slot and nickel, but they don't have any other 2 starting cornerbacks. So that's like their huge question mark. And I think they are hoping and wishing either one of the 2 guys like Caleb Farley or Patrick Surtain falls to them at 16. So they do look pretty good. Go ahead.
I want to touch on that real quick. I think so. I think one of them will fall to 16. I think one of them will fall. I don't know. Here's the thing. So we could, if we can run through this real quick. I just want to run through this real quick, and we can get back, and then we can get back on topic, and then get to the Rams. Sure. So let's look at it. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, boom. Jets, let's say Zach Wilson. God, I almost did it again. Zach Wilson, 3 Dolphins. What are you going here, Patty?
I go Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase. Okay, 4 Falcons. What do you got?
I'd say I think they take Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. Okay.
Yep.
See, I'm thinking that too. I'm thinking that Trey Lance has surpassed Justin Fields.
I totally agree with you. I think they go Trey Lance here. I think at 5 with the Bengals, I think I'm leaning towards Penei Sewell to protect Joe Burrow.
Okay. And then with the 6th pick, I'm going to say, and we're going to leave it up to this, is because this doesn't alter the Lions pick at 7 at all. I'm going to say that they either go Kyle Pitts, or I'm going to say that they go Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they go Kyle Pitts. Yeah.
You think they go Kyle Pitts?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they go Kyle Pitts, but if not, I think they go with Jalen Waddle.
Okay. And then 7, I'm going to say Devontae Smith.
I think 7's a trade. I think the Niners trade up here, but yeah, I think they go Devontae Smith, or I think they take Rashawn Slater, offensive lineman.
That makes sense because they gotta protect Jared Goff.
Yep.
Okay, so that makes sense, and like he's up there. So that makes sense to me. Okay, at 8.
At 8 with the Texans, no, that's Panthers. Here's another place that I think they can look at quarterback, but I think they'll land, hypothetical situation, I think they'll land Deshaun Watson. So I'm gonna say they stay here and they don't take a quarterback. I think they go Jalen Waddle, Kyle Pitts, whoever you guys don't take at 6.
Okay. All right. And 9.
With the Broncos, I think they go D-line, Kwity Paye. I'm looking at,
Not
and
Justin
then
Fields.
not Justin Fields, because I think not Justin Fields. I think they go Kwity Paye here, and then at
Because they are
number
defensive mind. That's the thing, is they are
right.
defensive minded, and that's why. Okay, and that's my other thing about the Jacksonville Jaguars. But we'll get that in a second. I want to burst this out real quick. 10. We got the Dallas Cowboys, and here is where I will say, I believe that this will be the first cornerback taken off the board.
Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit differently. I think they go Micah Parsons. I think they take a linebacker here.
Okay, I could see that. Actually, that worries me more, which means that anything as an Eagles fan, anything that worries me more is usually what the Cowboys are going to do. That's usually what it is.
Yeah,
that's usually the case. Okay, 11.
Giants. I have Rousseau going. Gregory Rousseau, an edge.
Oh, I like that. Miami. Oh, okay. That was the other. That was the Uche or whatever his name is. That was the other Miami guy that I couldn't think of before.
And then here it is, number 12, the 49ers. I think that's where Justin Fields gets picked up.
Ooh, I like it. So do you have the Pats getting their hands back on Jimmy Garoppolo then?
Yes, sir, I do. I think they'll get him for
there's no way that Cam Newton can run. They can run the offense with all the playmakers they just got. I just don't see it. Like I think he can do it. I just don't think he can do it to the extent that Bill wants him to be able to do it. That's the thing. Okay, so now we got number 13, right?
Chargers. I'm almost certain, especially with them adding Corey Linsley, I think they're going to continue fortifying their offensive line. So I think they go since the 2 tackles got taken. I think they go with Christian Darrisaw, which is a third tackle that'll get taken. So Christian Darrisaw at 13.
Phenomenal pick. That's a phenomenal pick because they have to. They lost 3 offensive linemen, and then 14, right?
14, yeah. 14 is the Minnesota Vikings. They do need to repair their edge and defensive line. So I think their top 2 guys that I think they can take is Christian Barmore or Jalen Phillips from Miami. So I think one of those 2 guys gets taken here.
Not even. What about Jason Owe?
Yeah, Jason Owe is an option too, for sure.
Okay, cool. So 15.
So here's an interesting part. I think if this is how it goes, our 2 top corners, Patrick Surtain and Caleb Farley, are both available at this point, and I think this is where those 2 go to the Patriots at 15, and the other one goes to the Cardinals at 16.
Especially if Stephon Gilmore gets traded to the Washington football team, these picks are just fucking perfect. I loved these.
Yeah, no, that's great. See, that's the important thing about waiting until like just a few days into free agency, because it kind of opens up the picture a little bit more, you know. So so I think this is how it gets laid out. Obviously, a lot of things can change. Mock drafts are never right for this reason because teams have different agendas. But I mean, like just with everything how we've drawn up, I think it works. And there are teams like the Pats that always want to trade back and get more picks. The Cardinals, who just lost their 3rd round pick too, or wants to move back to later 20s to pick up a 3rd rounder and take a guy like Zaven Collins as a linebacker to pair with Isaiah Simmons, and then they just met with Asante Samuel Jr. too. So I'm sure look for them to trade back too. So I mean, but as far as like exactly how it's laid out, I think our mock draft is pretty perfect, and that took us like 5 minutes.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So the Cardinals have a lot of options, and man, just looking at that, their defense just needs some cornerbacks. Their offensive line is set. Their receiving room looks pretty set. DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, Christian Kirk. If Larry Fitzgerald does come back, I mean, those are pretty solid 4 guys to have. They need a tight end. It's a good spot for Zach Ertz. It's a good spot for Kyle Rudolph. So we'll see. And running back, they don't have Kenyon Drake anymore. So I think I know they were linked to Mike Davis with the Panthers before. I know they were linked to Chris Carson with the Seattle Seahawks. So we'll see what they add to their arsenal. But you can clearly see that they're kind of going all in as far as like the Kyler's rookie contract year. So yeah, that's one thing for sure with the Cardinals that they're all going.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I like it. I like that they do have that mindset. It's quite a departure, for the Cardinals. From years past, you know what I mean? To be in that position, to be able to go all in. Obviously, I mean, the defense used to be great, and that was, they were getting themselves into the playoffs due to the terrific play during the prime years of Patrick Peterson, and Honey Badger and guys like that, Calais Campbell.
Yeah. Exactly, and then it looks like Cardinals just signed a Matt Prater, the best kicker that was available out in the free agency. So they're continuing to add.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I don't expect it to end anytime soon. I mean, guys, we're only 2 hours into the official league year, so I assume,
it's insane. Yeah,
we have 14 more days to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
We really do. Let's move on to the Los Angeles Rams. Or do you want to cut this short for the day? Because I definitely want to. That guy really actually pissed me off. So I definitely want to. We're definitely going to touch on that probably tomorrow. But yeah, sorry about that.
It's up to you. If you want to be a little bit more organic, we can cut it short and we can continue this conversation tomorrow. If that's the case, just to kind of give you like a rundown of things that's happened recently. Seahawks and Gerald Everett did agree to a deal. Ravens acquired Josh Oliver from the Jaguars. Broncos signed running back Mike Boone. And then also, like I said, the Cardinals signed Matt Prater. Raiders signed Quentin Jefferson. Panthers are signing Morgan Fox. And then Bengals actually have submitted an offer for Kenny Golladay. But he is still in New York discussing contract with the Giants. So we'll see if he leaves New York without a contract, that bodes well for the Bengals to bring this all-time wide receiver in. And then last but not least, Chiefs added to their offensive line again with signing of longtime Bears offensive lineman Kyle Long. So that kind of wraps up, rapid fire news so far.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much I like that signing, but it's not Kyle Long. I don't think is as good as Mitchell Schwartz or Eric Fisher.
Right.
So it's definitely a drop off there, but there's going to be guys for them to draft for sure. And we're talking about Andy Reid, obviously. So, I assume that they will go that route anyway. Let's talk about this. Let's actually talk about this for a second. What do you think about Kenny Golladay going to the Bengals? Possibly going to the Bengals. I guess.
Kenny Golladay going to the Bengals, it's gonna be an upgrade. Here's the thing. Here's how I look at Kenny Golladay, and I'm sure you agree with me. He is a talent. He's a talented receiver who can be the top 20 receiver in this league. It's just his health. It seems like he's hurt quite often, and then receivers not having the dependability, it always is a cause for concern. Bengals are an up-and-coming team. I mean, Joe Burrow showed a lot what he can do, what he can offer. When Joe Mixon went down, he really had to carry the team a little bit, and he was able to do that. They have Tyler Boyd, they have T. Higgins, so they do have different receiving options. Obviously, AJ Green hasn't been very serviceable this past couple of years. So him coming in and replacing AJ Green as like a younger, big body target for Joe Burrow is only going to help their offense. Do I think it's a perfect marriage? I don't think so. But I think Kenny Golladay is one of those guys that's a high risk, high reward kind of guy where, you're going to have to pay him high money. You're gonna go in there expecting him to get injured, but if he doesn't, if he's able to see the field more often than not, he's gonna produce. And then especially teams that have a younger quarterback like Daniel Jones with the Giants or Joe Burrow with the Bengals, I mean, he's going to come in there and be an instant threat for them. You just can't. It's just one of those things that the buyer just has to be beware.
You know who we're not talking about?
We're not talking about
Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson is just.
He's still good. No. He's still good. He's still good.
That's not what I'm saying. Yeah, I believe in Deshaun Jackson, and he's only 34, but. The thing that concerns me about Deshaun Jackson is that there has been absolutely zero interest in him from what it looks like. Like, I'm like, well, someone give him a chance, you know? Yeah, I'm like,
it was such a shitty reunion, dude. It was like 4 games out of 3 out of 2 seasons.
Right.
It was heartbreaking, honestly. And that's why.
Right.
That's why. And I gotta assume that's why. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it's just I I don't know, man.
Maybe we can bring him back on a cheap deal.
Yeah. I mean, like I would say any team should be able to bring him at a cheaper deal, man. He's gonna be an asset to some team. I think he's still got a lot to offer. It's just a matter of what he's able to get.
I would give him a little bit more than what we were giving Marquise Goodwin.
Right.
You know, see if we can get him in the third phase of free agency. I don't think he's going to last that long, but
I mean, you never know. The receiving market's been kind of slow, yeah. And then like the guys that's actually signed, like, haven't been getting a whole lot of money. Like, I know these are like not the top of the guys, but like, I mean, John Brown only got like what? I think only $3 million guarantees worth up to $5.5 million.
Nelly got overpaid.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Pats.
Yeah. Like, I'm surprised that they went with that option though. And they didn't go unless they swoop in at the last second and steal Kenny Golladay away from the Giants. Which it's possible, I guess. Bill Belichick seems like he's on a rampage, so I guess it's possible. You know, I'm surprised that they didn't go with a more established guy. I mean, Nelson Aguilar, like everybody made a big deal about his season last season, like he put up 800 plus yards in 2017 with Carson Wentz. I think the thing that was so much different was the 18.3 yards per reception. That was different.
Right.
But that doesn't really say much to me other than, okay, they were using him differently. They were using him a lot more. They were using him a lot more like he was used at USC, you know, deeper routes, which is how we should have been using him all along. But he found consistency. I think Nelson Aguilar, just to touch on him for a second, I think it's hard to play in Philadelphia, dude. Like fans are a little too rowdy. We're a little too rowdy, bro. We can be mean. We can be a little unjustifiably too mean sometimes. And I think he just wasn't prepared for that. And we fucking wrecked his shit after his rookie season. He dropped everything. So I'm glad he found consistency, but he hasn't found consistency from year to year to year to year. So it's surprising to me that Belichick went that route. But if there's anybody that could get his hands on him and get the best out of him, I'm glad it's Belichick. And so I'm glad that it was Belichick.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's Belichick's able to do that. I mean, they got that culture in place where I feel like he can thrive. I mean, New England's not much easier than Philadelphia, so hopefully he's got some tougher skin going in there. But good for him. Good for him, though. I mean, I'm proud of him.
Yeah, he seemed to develop tough skin in Las Vegas. You know what I mean? So
right.
So, and Jalen Mills is another one of those guys talking about getting the most out of these guys. Like, Like, Jalen Mills is going to join that category of like Rasul Douglas, like we were talking about, and Sidney Jones.
Right.
Jalen, like I understand where people come from, where Eagles fans come from when they want to hate on Jalen Mills. Like, he's given up some big plays, he has. He wasn't as bad as Bradley Fletcher, he wasn't as bad as Kerry Williams, you know what I mean? He was a hybrid. We ended up turning him into a hybrid player. We played him out of position, and he did well for us in 2017. And he was a leader in the locker room. So like, he still brings value to a team, and I think my point is this: I think it's another guy that I think is going to do well, like a Sidney Jones or Rasul Douglas, and I think the Eagles are going to feel that thorn in their side. I really do. I think that is there's a theme there. There's a theme to this offseason, and it's this: it's Carson Wentz is going to the Colts with Frank Reich. He's going to blow it up. We know it. There's Sidney Jones, who played well. It was the Jaguars, right? I think it was the Jaguars.
Yep.
Rasul Douglas went to the Panthers, played well, played decent. And now we've got Jalen Mills and we got Nelly. And Nelly obviously went to Las Vegas Raiders, guys, and played well. And Jalen Mills is going to play well for Bill Belichick. Come on. I mean, if you don't know that, you got to get it in your head, because Bill Belichick gets the most out of every guy he puts back there in that defense. It's just facts. There's something wrong with our scouting department, is my point. And my thing is this: I think I don't know. This is a theory, but we're fucking cursed amongst the scouting department. And I hate it. I hate to say it, but like, there's only one man that's left to get rid of, and that is Roseman.
Recurring theme every single week.
Yeah, because he's still in the fucking building, bro. If we get him out of the building, then I'll feel a lot better. I think we'll all feel a little bit better. We won't have to. It's like that little last ounce of negativity in your day. It's like, I've done everything right. I woke up this morning. I made my breakfast well. I made my bed. My bed is good. I said hello all to the right people. Like, I put a smile on that person's face. Da 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 da. I got all this shit done. But then there's just that one little thing that I forgot to do, and I know I forgot to do it, but I didn't have time to go back and do it. And then that's the thing that you remember the most at the end of the day, right before you lay your head down. It's like that. But guys, with all that said, though, I really appreciate all of you for joining in today. I'm so sorry about that troll. I really hope that never happens again, and I'm going to make sure that I keep my eyes peeled for that a little bit better. It's my first experience, honestly, with that. But again, I want to reiterate, I'm sorry if it seemed like I was ranting at you guys earlier. I really wasn't. All of you who come in here and subscribe are regular attendees. I really appreciate all of you. Dak is king. Big Play Slay. You guys are all awesome. All of you, just every single one of you. So, great talk today, guys. Tomorrow we will continue. We will finish up the NFC West. This is DB Talking now. DB Talking Birds. DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles live with Patrick J. And we will be on the clock and live with you guys tomorrow to talk more about all this craziness. You guys have a beautiful evening. Stay safe. Stay healthy. One love. And go Birds, baby.